Now, if you've been keeping up with this Young Thug YSL trial, man, you could clearly see that if it wasn't for the political motivation behind all this, man, this case would have been declared a mistrial a long time ago. But I want y'all to check out this full video as I explain what you may not know. That Young Thug gonna be a free man real soon. Matter of fact, I want y'all to check out this little clip real quick before I break it down, where the judge is frustrated with the prosecutor for the antics that she continues to pull, which would be one of the reasons Young Thug is going to end up being a free man real soon. Check this out, and then we're going to break it all the way down.
I think a mistrial is appropriate, and I'm asking
I can't figure out what it is. If it's disingenuous, if it is that, I don't want to malign the prosecutor standing in front of me right now. So I'm not going to say the possible things that it could be, but it is baffling to me that somebody with the number of years of experience that you have, time after time after time, continues to seemingly purposefully hide the ball to the extent you possibly can for as long as you possibly can. And I really don't want to believe that it is purposeful. But honestly, after a certain number of times, you start to wonder how it could be anything but that, unless it is just that you are so unorganized that you are throwing this case together as you try it. And I am sorry to say that. But this case is being made much more difficult for everybody because of the haphazard way in which it is being presented.
But see, hold on, because you got to understand what really led to all this in the first place, right? The political agenda, which is the reason this whole trial has turned into a big circus in the first place. And this prosecutor, Miss Love, man, she been pulling out all the stops to guarantee Young Thug's freedom. And the reality is every man or woman has the right to have their day in court for the crimes that they may be accused of. But from what I've been seeing, man, watching this trial, the state, the prosecutor, the DA, everybody, man, they all seem more invested in their own political rise than actually presenting a real case with enough evidence to convict this man. All these railroading tactics that they trying to pull ain't gonna work in this case, man. Man, you got millions of eyes watching and a man with millions to pay these lawyers to fight this case, man. So you got to do more than just railroading the average black man, straight up.
Your Honor, what just happened was completely dishonest, disingenuous, misleading, and gross.
And
I objected, and I wouldn't have even thought about anyone doing this other than the fact that I've seen the prior behavior throughout this trial of this type of nonsense where we try to trick a witness into think we're saying they, meaning three people, and then try to convince the jury that we're somehow including my client Shannon when it's clear that the witness is not following. That's what we're talking about. Okay. And it's disgusting, and I don't know how we cure it, but I'm going to move for a mistrial. I think it was completely intentional. Obviously, it was calculated. Obviously, when I asked for clarification, I would think anyone seeking the truth would gladly clarify. I'm seeking the truth. I would gladly clarify. No.
But it was not unreasonable to object to make sure that it was clear what the question was, who the they was in the question. And when I say clarify, that needs to be the end of it. And you need to ask a different question, rephrase the question, and let's move on. And there shouldn't be an issue with it.
Now, when this indictment first came to light and the arrest of Young Thug and the YSL members was made, man, you started seeing District Attorney Fani Willis prancing, popping it, all in the videos, press conference here, press conference there. And to me, it started giving off a Is it really justice for the victims, or is it just one big political agenda? Now, I want y'all to follow me on this, right? Because back then, all you heard from Fani Willis is how she want the city of Atlanta safe and it's justice for the shooting victims and whatnot, right? And I'm like, cool, okay. But then next thing you know, you hear her, she start giving out deals for the alleged shooters. And I ain't talking your ordinary type of deals you gonna give a snitch, right? Nah, these deals, so-called these snitches, then unalive people and all that. But then all of a sudden, they getting deals with no jail time whatsoever, right? Back to the streets of Atlanta. So how is it really justice for the victims if the alleged shooters in all these cases that you trying to seek justice for get to remain free? Y'all, just so you can lock up the big name in this case, right? You think who allegedly lived their whole life running the streets gonna stop running the streets because they homeboy locked up? And I'm talking about the shooters, right, that these so-called deals is going to. What you think these shooters gonna do? They gonna get back to doing what they've been doing their whole life, which is running the streets, man. Matter of fact, the only one Fani Willis wasn't willing to cut a deal with was Young Thug, which happens to be the big name. The big name that's going to stay in the news, that's going to have her name ringing once they sink this man. And that's why I say this was all a political agenda in the first place, man. Straight up. Which led to them railroading by any means necessary, which led to no mistrial, no matter how much messing up, how many antics, how much negligence from the prosecutor, because it's one big political agenda and the circus show must go on, man. Straight up.
It's not just random that Fani Willis was the first DA to target rapper group/gangs in Atlanta. These rapper group/gangs has existed for about like 15, 20 years in Atlanta. She's the first DA to do it. Okay, let's get the YFN, Inglewood Mafia family people. Okay, let's get them indicted. Let's get YSL, Sex Money Murder. Let's get them indicted. She indicted a few other people, but most of them seem to be people connected to either rap or whatever, and those people usually have a voice because they're rappers or they have a name in the community. So people could be like, "Oh, you're racist. You're attacking rap." You know, they'll make it a bigger thing. Fani Willis took up that task. Now, that wasn't enough to possibly get her to, you know, I think she wanted to get to the White House initially. She also said, "Well, I got to show that not only am I not fearless with people who look like me, I'll play the Democrat game. And I'll go after, because I won't get backlash because I'm black with certain shit, I'll go at even the former president of the United States." She indicted Donald Trump.
So to start off this circus, you then have Fani Willis allegations where she allegedly had a relationship with one of the victims, which was allegedly motivation as well in this YSL indictment. Matter of fact, respectfully, it was multiple allegations made towards Fani Willis about relationships. But we ain't gonna go into all the alleged relationships involving all that. We just gonna mention this real quick to just add to the circus and the railroad and why Young Thug will be free.
Same way you said the best kept secret in LA was the murder of Pac.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, apparently everybody knows that Fani, whatever her name is,
Fani Willis,
had a relationship with Nut.
okay.
Fani Willis admitted to a personal relationship with an outside prosecutor she appointed to manage the election interference case against former President Donald Trump.
I lived the experience of a black woman who is attacked and over-sexualized. See, I'm so tired of hearing these idiots call my name as Fanny in a way to attempt to humiliate me. Because like silly schoolboys, the name reminds them of a woman's rear, of her behind.
The reality is of this situation, to sum it up, Young Thug will be found not guilty, straight up. Worst case scenario, If Young Thug is found guilty, and I don't even think this is going to be the scenario, but worst case scenario, if Young Thug is found guilty, Young Thug will be home within a year, man, filing that first appeal. And these lawyers is strategically declaring for a mistrial because of that, man. Young Thug will be home on the appeal if it's the worst case scenario. And they ain't gonna want to retry this case when Young Thug come home on the appeal, man. So Young Thug, to sum it up, will be a free man very soon. This is Bezo, man. Y'all tap in, man. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe, man. Young Thug will be a free man soon, man. Y'all could bet that. I stamped it. This Bezo. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. I said what I said. Young Thug, not guilty. Bezo. Peace.